Personal power is something we all want and deserve. Personal power comes from within. And since we live in a body, have a soul, and are a spirit, I believe it's important to feed all three parts. Hi, I'm Tonyah Dee, registered dietitian, and this month's Feed Body, Soul, and Spirit is about finding ways to increase your personal power. So, one of the things when we're thinking about power is we actually also have to look at ways we're blocking the power that is already within us, because we have a higher power already within us. So what are we doing, and what do we need to do to continue the flow of power and to reduce the things that are blocking our inner power? So one of the things, and it's very prevalent, it's been prevalent for a while, is fear. So when we walk around and we're feeling fearful, and we have thoughts of doubt and thoughts of lack and thoughts of doom, then this is going to take away our energy, and energy is power, and it can make our minds ruminate on too much. So one of the things that we really need to be aware of, like really conscious of, is when our mind is having these doubtful, fearful thoughts that could cause us to be very scattered and not have this flow of inner power. So, how do we maintain that flow? Let's talk about the body. The goal for the body this month and the rest of the year is try to keep your body steady. We've all heard steady and slow wins the race. Now, what is steady? So can you, just as a practice even, hold your body steady and learn how to breathe in and out in a balanced manner? So holding the body steady is a matter of balance. So being able to be balanced inside your body. And one of the things that helps is to have balanced breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Another thing about having a balanced, steady body is our heart is in our body, obviously, and a powerful position is to have your heart open and moving into the world. And we can actually feel within our body when our heart kind of closes, and this restricts our power and our energy. And if you can get conscious and keyed in to when your heart feels open and when it feels closed, this is having personal power. Like, oh, my heart's closing. What can I do to open my heart back up? And we go from feeling kind of rigid and constricted, again, probably too many thoughts, to a more open and flowing and flexible stance where we can continue to have faith and walk forward. So holding the body steady has to do with really listening to your body too. The body speaks. It speaks because the soul and the spirit are both in the body. We've got the soul speaking to us, our spirit speaking to us, God's spirit speaking to us. And if we're not listening, I believe the body starts speaking in physical manifestations. So it's really important to listen to the body and then take action, positive action, loving action, gentle action towards your body so that it feels free to release that power and free to have an open heart and free to experience the best health that it can. So you have to listen to your body and hold it steady. So move forward. Okay, now in the soul, what I recommend is think about the soul. Our soul is our self, and in our soul's always communicating. It's always communicating to us. And if you see, the soul is the mind, our emotion, our feelings, and our will, our desires. All of these things have voice. Our mind, we listen to our mind, we feel and hear our emotions, and we hear, like, I want this, I don't want this, I want this, I don't want this. That's our will making choices for us. And so we need to realize that a personal power really is an ability to hear your unique soul. Your soul is different from my soul. My soul is different from everyone else's soul. And our soul is going to be speaking to us personal truth. And this is personal power, is to know our truth, speak our truth, live in our truth, helps us to feel more powerful instead of living somebody else's truth or speaking somebody else's truth. We begin to really be able to identify our personal, the communication coming from our soul that's leading us. Our soul wants us to survive. It wants us to thrive. Our soul wants to experience life. And our soul is always communicating, which the problem with that is this can take away power if the soul's communicating all the time and you're ignoring it. So to have to push down everything that the soul is saying, or repress or deny what your desires are, what your emotions are, like, no, I'm not feeling that, no, I don't want that, or I'm confused about this, or you're not able to discern the voices in your mind, whether it's true or whether it's false. This takes up a lot of energy, and that will decrease your personal power. So learn to communicate your personal truth and try to get away this year from shoulds, like I should do that, I should do this. That is not your personal power or your truth. Perhaps it is, but also you can go beyond the shoulds and seek what your soul really desires in your lifetime. Okay, so in the mind this month, one thing I'm recommending is a neutral mind. So neutral mind means it's not too negative and it's not too positive. So neutral is somewhere in the middle, and most religious paths teach this path, how to get to this neutral mind. It has lots of different words. Jesus said, "Peace be with you." That's the neutral mind. The Buddhist path says a path of equanimity. So equal equanimity is like this neutral mind. So in your mind, you'll have negative thoughts. And in your mind, you'll have positive thoughts. And some people's mind actually kind of run in the negative and some run in the positive. And neither are bad, because the negative mind can alert you of something you need to watch out for. And the positive mind can be so positive that it doesn't see the risks. So basically, finding a balance between the negative mind and the positive mind, and always kind of bringing it back to neutral. Like, okay, I'm feeling a little negative. How can I think about something positive that will bring me into the neutral? I'm too overly optimistic, which is a thing, and it's getting me into trouble because I'm jumping into all these things so positively, And maybe start looking at, hey, what are some of the negative consequences that could happen from jumping too positively forward? So try to keep the mind in a neutral mind, and that will be a way to stay open, communicating your truth, and moving forward. So it is a personal power. In our emotions, keeping our emotions cleansed is one way, a really important way to maintain personal power, because emotional buildup happens. Like if you haven't explored all those emotions from your childhood, it's actually kind of a good thing to. It doesn't take a whole lot of work. It's just identifying our emotions. This is how we cleanse our emotions. We identify them. We have compassion for them. We don't judge them. And it's very helpful if we can speak to somebody else about them. Like, hey, I felt this in my childhood, or hey, I feel this right now. And what can be revealed in our emotions are healed. So they don't build up if we continue to express them and get them out. We can write about them. Ideally, a meditation, prayer practice. We're talking to God about our feelings. That's releasing. We have an intimate partner or a friend. We're releasing our feelings. That's how we cleanse our emotions. So keeping our emotions cleansed and not allowing that emotional buildup helps us to stay in a more powerful position. In our will, words are powerful, right? In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word was God. So words are extremely powerful. Words are creative. So be very careful about the words that you speak, because they can be creating personal power, or they can be taking away from personal power. If you're speaking negatively and down about yourself, I'm not powerful, I'm helpless, I'm hopeless, these might be true feelings, but do try to balance them out with, I am hopeful, and I will be able to accomplish this thing, and speak words of power. Words of affirmation. Like Joel Osteen's so good about words and the power of words. So do remember, I call it divine speech. Try not to say anything that might create a situation for you where it's going to require you to go in and clean it up. How often has a word created a fight, and then you're having to clean that up for the next week? That takes away our personal power. So watch the words you say. Now, in the spirit, our spirit, God's spirit lives in our heart as a higher power. And our spirit, God's spirit in our heart, is also known as the Spirit of Truth. Now, I find this to be extremely interesting, because truth has a way of bringing us back into a lighter feeling, a more powerful feeling, when we can be vulnerable and we can really speak our truth. And I know this is so hard. It's taken me a long time to be able to sort of consistently speak my truth, be vulnerable, and say, well, this is how I feel. This is my truth. And it takes some work, but it's worth the work of getting to the point where you can feel, and it is a little bit vulnerable when we share our truth. But just remember that personal power comes from sharing the truth, and how that other person or whoever is receiving it and their reactions, that's their responsibility. But it's our responsibility to speak from, ideally, our truth, and we merge it with God's truth, and we say what is really the truth here, and sit with it for a while, stay steady, and figure it out inside, and then speak it out and walk forward in it. So this truth is power, and God's Spirit is the higher power. It's where peace, love, joy, patience, self-control. Imagine the power if we can have self-control, that we have personal power. So when we have these virtues of God living inside of us, that's the ultimate higher power, and that's how we can really have personal power. So anyway, think about this month being a pivotal month and how you can really establish your own personal power, focus on yourself, not other people, and work on finding ways to increase your personal power so that the rest of the year goes really smoothly for you. So anyway, I'm Tonyah Dee. My company is Ya Light. It's a movement to ignite the light within. Go in grace and go with grace. I hope that this was helpful. Thanks so much.